bike just overheated, so we had a Coke, and a bird just shit on my on my head. But I hope it means good luck. Oh, now I need it inside the helmet also. Now it gets all nasty. I've moved about 2 hours northeast of Moscow to something called Sergei Podsta, and it has a really nice monastery and a whole other atmosphere than the Kremlin. And okay, can any of you help me with what this is? I thought I ordered water from one of these yellow tanks that's outside the city wall here, and instead I got this brown thing, and it's not strong, but it tastes a little bit like alcohol. It's a little bit fermented. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it tastes pretty good. But does any of you guys know what it is? I'd like to know in the comments down below. I carried on from Sergei Posad onwards east, and I'd hoped that I'd found somewhere I could stay, but instead I ran into a thunderstorm, which is brewing outside, so I'm kind of waiting here for any second the weather would go crazy and so on. I got the tent up. I just hope it'll stay dry in here and that the lightning won't strike me later on. Dimitri I met in Moscow suggested that I go see some of the Golden Ring, which is a couple of cities just north of Moscow. For any of you who will have the time, this is definitely a place that you should go by. This is the historical center of old Russia, and it has a ton of old churches and Kremlins like these. Okay, so I've come to Nizhniy Novgorod, and I've been looking for a hotel for over an hour until I was lucky to find a couple of girls who's given me great help and actually managed to find me a decently priced hotel here in the city. It looks really interesting, so tomorrow we'll go around and we'll take some pictures and make some videos, and then we'll see how it all looks. And it wasn't half bad, because these two guys, Vasilius and Nikolai, they saw my bike outside the hotel, gave me a call and invited me for a Armenian dinner in Nizhniy Novgorod. Only having seen the city here from the dark, I thought I'd stay another day, and I'm pretty glad I did. Take a look at this view. This is the Volga, the river in Russia. So I just met up with Alexander and Uliana, who's offered me a place to stay here in Nizhniy Novgorod. It's really great because the hotel prices here is pretty outrageous and there's no hostels. So I got a private accommodation, and now they've even given me their garage so I can park my motorcycle. But their hospitality didn't stop there at all. They even hooked me up with Rusland via one of their internet forums for fellow bikers. And this is where I'll leave Nizhniy Novgorod. A thing I didn't expect at all was all the salsa which was going on. I didn't see Russians as being salsa dancers, but I saw it all over the city, and why not if you had a practice room like this. So I left Nizhniy Novgorod behind me, and now I've come here to Kazan. I just met with Rusland, who's coming biking down there. He's someone that the people in Nizhniy Novgorod hooked me up with. He's a biker here, and I got to sleep at his place. I get to sleep at his place tonight. We just met an old woman too. She pulled out the yak when she heard I was Danish. So we got to figure out where that is later on. And so this is where I stayed with Rusland in his apartment, and I gotta say, Russian hospitality is amazing, the way they share things. Rusland even took time to show me around Kazan. This is the Kremlin, the metro, and one of the things I really want to do is actually come back to Kazan and see it in the winter, because all the buildings are so white and beautiful, and I think this would be extremely pretty once it's all covered in snow. I thought this was where I was going to leave Kazan, but something interesting happened a little later. That's it for Kazan for this time. This is a city I really want to come back to at some point. It has the really nice Kremlin, it has a really nice pedestrian street, and really nice people like Ruslan, who's behind the camera. Tomorrow I'll head to Perm, so that's where we're going next. I've managed to hurt myself. I fell in the sewer, here just a couple of minutes ago, and I fucked up both my feet, so now I'm going to the hospital.
I was really fortunate, however, that Ruslan was with me when I got hurt. He took me to the hospital, and I'm really glad he did, because my Russian wouldn't have taken me far there.
Ruslan and I have now made it to the emergency room, where we're sitting and and waiting for me to get my wounds clean and see how bad it actually is.
Take comment.
I just been told that I'm getting both my feet in cast now, and it'll be 3 weeks before I can get on the road again. So I hope that I can place my bike here with the Ruslan and then figure something out tomorrow so I can go home. This is just the... oh, not quite what I wanted.
Make few steps.
Yeah. Okay, so luckily it was only one foot where I fractured my big toe. They tell me I gotta put this in cast for 3 weeks before I can continue on. So now I gotta figure out what I do. Yeah, more in the next episode.